Good evening and welcome to Express News with me, Deepika, your daily half-an-hour window that brings you all the latest news and updates in a very quick and crisp manner in just 30 minutes. Let's begin. On day 2 of his visit to Lakshadweep, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated and dedicated to the nation development projects worth $140 million. The developmental project included a submarine optical fiber cable project, a drinking water supply scheme, and a battery-backed solar power project. During a public rally in Kavaratti, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that the Kochi-Lakshadweep Island submarine optical fiber connection project will provide 10 times higher internet speed to the people of Lakshadweep. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also spoke about how the government has made the Hajj pilgrimage convenient for the people. During the event, Prime Minister Narendra Modi distributed laptops, bicycles, Kisan cards and Ayushman cards to the beneficiaries of several schemes in Kavaratti, Lakshadweep. Prime Minister also interacted with the beneficiaries of various schemes of Government of India in Lakshadweep. He shared glimpses from his interaction on the social media platform X. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, during a visit to the southern Indian state of Kerala on Wednesday, took part in a roadshow in Thrissur. A large number of people lined up on both the sides of the road to catch a glimpse of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Prime Minister also participated in BJP Women's Meet in Thrissur, Kerala. The gathering, titled Stri Shakti Modikoppam, witnessed a large number of women. More than 200,000 women gathered there to welcome the Prime Minister. They felicitated him for the passage of Women's Reservation Bill. Addressing the gathering, Prime Minister lauded women power and slammed the opposition for not giving the rightful place to women and ignoring their potential. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal facilitated National One District One Project winners during the Atmanirbhar Bharat Utsav celebration at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi today. Addressing the event, External Affairs Minister said that One District One Product is an economic activity that shows the diversity. It expresses the diversity of India in a very tangible way. India's Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said India has done good work in the energy and petroleum sector. He also highlighted that India is the 4th largest refiner and is increasing its capacity up to 300 to 400 million metric tons per annum. He also said that though the prices of petrol and diesel have increased in some parts of the world, but in India the prices have dropped. India's top court delivered its verdict on petitions related to the allegations made in the Hindenburg report regarding Adani Group of companies. The top court said that the report by Hindenburg cannot become the basis of a separate probe. The court has directed country's market regulator SEBI to complete its probe into 2 pending cases within 3 months. The court also said that its powers to enter the regulatory framework of SEBI is limited. Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud pronounced the verdict in the case that was reserved on the 24th of November after the conclusion of the arguments. During a detailed discussion on Tuesday, the Government of India has appealed to the All India Motor Transport Congress and all the drivers to return to their respective jobs. In a tragic accident in India's Kolaghat district of Assam, 13 persons, including 3 children, died this morning. President and Prime Minister of India expressed grief over the incident. A total of 511 cases of the new COVID variant JN.1 have been reported in India in the past 24 hours. The highest cases reported were in southern India's Karnataka with 199. Moving on to business and economy, the Indian markets ended in red on Wednesday. Sensex fell 535.88 points to settle at 71,356.6. Nifty declined 148.45 points to settle at 21,517.35. Indian rupee rises 4 paise to settle at 83.28 against the US dollar. Gold future maturing on the 5th of February next year stood at 63,015 rupees per 10 grams on Multi-Commodity Exchange of India Limited. Silver futures maturing on the 5th of March next year stood at 73,388 rupees per kilogram on the MCX. Reserve Bank of India on Wednesday released a draft circular proposing new rules for the declaration of dividends by banks and the remittance of profits to the head office by foreign bank branches. These guidelines will be effective for declaration of dividends for financial year 2024-25 and onwards. The dollar eased slightly on Wednesday, though it stayed near a two-week high because of an elevated US Treasury yield and a risk rally stall that weighed on Wall Street. Asian shares extended a global sell-off as South Korean shares slid 2.1% and Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index fell 1.1%. Markets in Japan remained shut for a public holiday. Bitcoin rose 0.7% to $45,287, not far from a 21-month peak of $45,922 on Tuesday. Oil prices extended declines because of softened expectations of rate cuts and reduced concerns over Red Sea supply disruptions. In an interview, International Monetary Fund Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva urged the Americans to cheer up about the US economy because they finally would see relief in terms of prices. New Zealand dollar was 0.29% higher at 0.62 to the US dollar, and the Australian dollar bounced 0.09% to 0.68 to the US dollar. Amid India Meteorological Department forecast of isolated rain in India's northern state of Uttar Pradesh, rain lashed parts of the state, further intensifying the cold wave. A further drop in the minimum temperature is also expected from Friday onwards. Thick layer of fog and cold wave blankets parts of New Delhi in the early morning hours. Many flights and about 26 trains have been delayed due to the fog, affecting many citizens in the capital city. Indian Meteorological Department said on Wednesday that moderate to dense fog cover is observed in parts of North Indian region. Japanese rescuers scrambled to search for survivors on Wednesday as authorities warned of landslides and heavy rain after a powerful earthquake that killed at least 62 people. Residents living in shelters in central Japan's earthquake-stricken Ishikawa prefecture are growing increasingly worried about the lack of food and water in their isolated communities as most roads have been cut off. Pope Francis expressed deep sadness and offered prayers and condolences for Japan quake victims on Wednesday. The Pope assured everyone affected by this disaster of his heartfelt solidarity, spiritual closeness and prayers. Former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan, has been charged with contempt of the Electoral Commission on Wednesday. Russia pounds Ukraine's two biggest cities, Kyiv and Kharkiv, with missiles on Tuesday. The new wave of heavy airstrikes prompted calls for West to quickly provide more military assistance. Dozens of cars destroyed and several dealerships damaged in massive Russian airstrikes on Kyiv. President Volodymyr Zelensky on Tuesday accused Russia of using almost 300 missiles and more than 200 drones into Ukraine over the last 3 days. Russia downed 9 Ukrainian missiles over the southern Belgorod region on Tuesday. Turkey has blocked 2 British mine hunter ships intended for Ukraine from entering the Black Sea, citing 1936 Montreal Convention. The U.S. to reopen several southern border crossings on Thursday that have been closed as a result of record number of migrants arriving to the United States. New York City officials have accused Texas governor of being a bully who is trying to destabilize cities. Migrants in Mexico wait to receive travel permits that will allow them to reach the border with the U.S. The permit will allow 4,000 migrants to move freely through Mexico for a year. In the first 2 days of the new year, Spanish Coast Guards rescued more than 150 migrants. Coast Guards said on their X account that they have rescued migrants off the coast of Gran Canaria in the Atlantic Ocean. At London's Heathrow Airport, aircraft were seen landing unsteadily on a runway on Tuesday amid warnings and weather authorities about strong winds brought about by Storm Hank. Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said that the aircraft collision at Tokyo's Haneda Airport has not affected the delivery of aid to quake-hit areas across the country. Japanese police will investigate whether the crash between an airliner and a smaller plane may involve professional negligence. Bangladesh Army has been deploying across the country to assist the local authorities hold 7th of January national elections. On the first business day of the new year, the United Nations Security Council welcomed 5 new non-permanent members. Algeria, Guyana, Republic of Korea, Sierra Leone and Slovenia joined UNSC as non-permanent members for the year 2024-25. United Nations Security Council is likely to meet on Wednesday to discuss situation in the Red Sea. Expressing concerns over the situation, the French ambassador to the UN said there is a repetition of violations and military actions in the Red Sea area. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken and British Foreign Secretary David Cameron spoke about attacks on commercial shipping in the Red Sea and the conflicts in Gaza and Ukraine in a call on Tuesday. Global shipping firms continue to avoid the Red Sea route that gives access to the Suez Canal following a weekend attack on one of Maersk's vessels. United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operation organizations on Tuesday received reports of up to 3 explosions 1 to 5 nautical miles from a merchant vessel in the Bab al-Mandab Strait. Sudan's paramilitary Rapid Support Forces group has expressed readiness for an immediate, unconditional ceasefire through talks with the Sudanese army. Former US President Donald Trump has asked a Maine court to overturn the Secretary of State's decision to remove him from 2024 primary ballot because of his role in the January 2021 US Capitol insurrection. Barely 24 hours after Disney's initial copyright on Mickey Mouse expired, 2 new indie horror films starring the beloved character have been announced. Animal lovers in Singapore laud government's decision to lift 34-year ban on pet cats in public housing. According to the changed policy enacted in 2024, the government has now allowed Housing and Development Board flat owners to legally welcome up to 2 cats into their homes. The Annapurna region of Nepal recorded nearly 200,000 tourists in the year 2023, marking the highest number of visitors in the tourism history of Nepal, backed by maximum numbers of visitors from India. The Legislative Assembly building of China's Macau will open its door to the public on the 6th of January. There will be a photo exhibition on the activities of the Legislative Assembly, and students from the Macau Conservatory of Music will also perform. US welcomes New Year with many state laws taking effect, with gun safety law on its highlight. States including California, Illinois and Colorado have enacted high-risk protection orders known as red flag laws and curb gun violence incidents. 4 giant pandas are adapting to their new home before meeting the public in southwest China. The pandas arrived in Chongqing municipality recently from the China Conservation and Research Center for Giant Panda. A South Korean zoo unveiled new baby panda twins on Wednesday before their official debut to the zoo visitors. Harvard President Claudine Gay announced her resignation just 6 months into her presidency amid a firestorm of controversy at the university. The last sport to finish the Sydney to Hobart yacht race crossed the finish line on Wednesday, carrying one of the most treasured crew members of the iconic race, Ollie the Cat. A US Coast Guard aircrew rescued a dog named Leo after he fell off a cliff at Ecola State Park in Oregon on New Year's Day. Pope Francis on Wednesday offered his prayers with Japan, struck by a massive earthquake on New Year's Day. He also offered prayers to the families of the victims of a deadly collision between an airliner and a Coast Guard aircraft at Tokyo's Haneda Airport. Multiple public pianos were set on the streets of Huaqingpei, a renowned commercial area for electronic markets in South China's Shenzhen city, providing opportunities for ordinary piano lovers or beginners to enjoy themselves and pursue their music dream in public spaces. A huge sand art has been created in Thrissur by the renowned sand artist Babu Edakuni. The 51 feet tall sand art was prepared by collecting soil from 51 places in the country, including Gujarat. India's Kono National Park welcomes 3 new cheetah cubs. The cubs have been born to Namibian cheetah Asha. To mark the birth anniversary of Sri Guru Gobind Singh, large number of devotees took part in Nagar Kirtan in Jammu. Tourists arrive in large numbers in the snow-clad peaks of India's Himachal Pradesh, echoing with festive energy of the week-long winter carnival in the city. In South Indian state of Andhra Pradesh, devotees thronged Vijayawada's Kanak Durga temple and attended Giri Pradakshina. Preparations are in full swing in Gujarat ahead of the International Kite Festival to be held on the occasion of Makar Sankranti. Kite flyers from across the globe arrives for the festival. An eco-friendly golf car service started in India's Ayodhya ahead of the consecration ceremony of Ram Temple on the 22nd of January. The service is set to provide ease to hundreds of devotees attending the ceremony later this month. India's Jammu-based student Arjun Veer Singh creates Rekindle Hope app designed to prevent suicide by promoting emotional wellness among students. South Korean music band BTS's 3 space-themed song include Moonchild has been selected by the US space agency NASA for 2024 lunar mission. American film production company Universal Pictures beats Disney as it becomes 2023's most successful film studio, crossing over $4.9 billion. Hollywood movie Argyle makers released character posters. The spy action comedy film will have its theatrical debut on the 2nd of February. English actor and filmmaker Gary Oldman has been nominated for the upcoming 81st Golden Globe Awards for his performance in espionage show Slow Horses. American romantic comedy film Anyone But You is set to hit the big screens in India on the 5th of January. The movie is an adaptation of William Shakespeare's play Much Ado About Nothing. One of the world's most popular video game, Minecraft, is coming to the big screen starring Jason Momoa and Jack Black as movie cast. Indian actors Manoj Bajpayee and Konkona Sen Sharma's new series called Killer Soup trailer is out. The crime thriller web series will premiere on Netflix on the 11th of January. Indian actress Deepika Padukone praises Bradley Cooper for his performance in Maestro, as she quotes him as the greatest performances I've experienced in recent years. Indian veteran actress Hema Malini took to social media to share a throwback picture with Mother Jaya Chakravarti on her birth anniversary. The actress expressed gratitude, saying she owes her everything. Indian actor Shah Rukh Khan's comedy drama film Donkey earns over 409 crore rupees worldwide. Moving on to sports now. In the second test, Indian bowlers showcased formidable performances against the host. South Africa won the toss but bundled out South Africa India bundled out South Africa for 55 runs. Indian bowlers dented the South Africa in first session as Siraj clinched 6 wickets, Mukesh took 2 wickets and Jasprit Bumrah picked up 2 wickets as well. Indian women's cricket team failed to avoid a series whitewash against Australia after suffering a defeat by 190 runs in the third women's ODI. Pakistan clawed back from looming disaster to finish with 313 on the back of fighting half-centuries from Mohammad Rizwan, Agha Salman and Amir Jamal on the first day of the third test against Australia. David Warner walked out onto the field with his children, Evie May, Indy Ray and Isla Rose, ahead of the first start of play on day 1 of the third test match between Australia and Pakistan at Sydney Cricket Ground. Kane Williamson's son will lead New Zealand in its T20 International Home Series against Pakistan after the recovery from his injury. Williamson missed last month's ODI and T20 series against Bangladesh while he rehabilitated a knee injury that he sustained 9 months ago. Rafael Nadal was elated to return to professional tennis on Tuesday after nearly a year on the sidelines, but the Spaniard said recovering his confidence and natural movements on the court would take some time. West Ham missed out on a fourth successive Premier League victory as the festive fixtures concluded with a drab 0-0 draw at home to Brighton and Hove Albion. Paris Saint-Germain players held their first training session. PSG will face Toulouse in Paris' Parc des Princes Stadium. And surprise joint Liga leaders Girona will take on Atletico Madrid as they look forward to continue their unlikely title bid into 2024. And with this, it's a wrap here on Express News for now, but news and updates will continue here on DD India. So don't go anywhere. Keep watching and keep tracking DD India for all latest news and updates from the country and the world. Thank you so much for joining us right now. Namaskar.